Hello, this is Broyar, and welcome back to another episode of our Civilization 6 experiment. This is our scientific showdown, if you will. And last episode, we got to see that Robert the Bruce here, our white Scottish team, actually got the science victory first. However, Red Korea was only a few turns behind, so I would say those are pretty interchangeable. You know, any situation could change and could have flip-flopped those very, very easily. There's a lot of pillaging of their space tiles or their spaceports that was being done. So, you know, it could have gone the other direction very, very easily. So I'm going to say that those two guys are fairly tied in the grand scheme of things. I do think that Korea is a little bit more consistently good in science, but Scotland has definitely shown that they can jump in there and win a science victory with a very, very good production very easily. We're going to go ahead and jump ahead another 20-25 turns or so. We're going to see who comes in third place, fourth place, kind of go down the list of this and see where the rest of these guys rank out. So here we go. All right, here we are back at turn 451. Not a lot's changed as far as anybody else winning a victory yet. But overall, we have yellow Arabia, orange Russia, and orange Korea. All are fairly tied. They all have the techs that they need, and they're only 3 rockets away from you know, getting the next victory. So let's take a look at each of these guys and see what they have being built and whatnot. Korea's got a spaceport there, but nothing on it. There's one there, nothing on it as well. There we go. There's one right here, with a rocket being built. So they have 1 rocket being built. Not sure why they're not building it on the other places. There's actually a rocket, another spaceport being built there. And that's about all I'm seeing. So they're going a little bit slow with only having 1 being produced at any given time. So we'll see what happens with that. Actually, Yellow Arabia's got a rocket being built right there on the border with Korea. And I think that's the only one that I see. They have a couple other spaceports, but that's the only rocket they're building at the moment as well. They actually have one over here that got pillaged at one point. I don't see a rocket on there, so I don't know how far along they were. Actually got their industrial zone pillaged here as well, so definitely a lot of usage of the spies and stuff. Let's see how Russia up here is doing. They got a couple spaceports, but I don't see any rockets being built yet. There's nothing there. I'm really not seeing. There we go. There's a rocket. So again, only building 1 rocket at a time, but they do have this one pretty far along. They actually had one right here, got pillaged on the launch pad, which I think we saw that last episode, if I remember right. And then we got Blue Arabia down here. Again, same thing. They've got a rocket pillaged on the launch pad as well. And other than that, they got a couple spaceports. There's a rocket being built right here. But they're 1 level behind, aren't they? Yeah, they still haven't built the moon landing, which was presumably what this one is. So it's possible they could catch back up, but I don't know. And then of course, yellow Russia is just dead in the water. Oh yeah, green Scotland. That's the other one that would be one to check out. I mean, they're further behind than everybody else, but it's possible with their production that they could catch up and pass them up. They do have a rocket being built here, so we'll see what happens with that. We're gonna have to we'll have to jump ahead another 25 turns and see who is going to come in third place. All right, here we are at turn 476, as you can see. Still no one else has finished, although there are a couple people that are a little bit closer. Both Yellow Arabia and Orange Korea are, you know, have gained 1 more towards their victory, so they got 2 to go. Orange Peter up here still has 3 to go, but we'll have to see if he can catch back up. Green Scotland really has not made much progress. Neither has Blue Arabia, and of course, poor little Yellow Peter down here finally has his Earth satellite out. But that's it. So we'll see what he can do. Let's go check out the Korea and the Arabia for sure. So Korea over here. Where are they building? Okay, they're building a rocket right here. Are they building another one anywhere? Oh, they're actually building another one right here. So they are building the last 2 that they need to win this thing. So we'll see. We'll have to see if they can to get both those finished without one of them being pillaged first. And then Arabia over here has got 1 being built here. Do they have a second one being built? Yes, they do. So they also have both of theirs being built. So it really comes down to who has the better production at this point between those 2 guys to see who gets that third spot. Other than that, let's see. Blue Arabia over here, not really doing much. If I had one pillaged over here, and that's about all the work I see them doing on spaceports. They got a spaceport here, but nothing. Oh, there we go. There's one right there. So they do have one being built. That is, I think, their Earth satellite. Not Earth satellite. This is their moon landing. Oh, no. They still need their Earth satellite. So that's going to be the Earth satellite right there. Green Scotland right here actually has a spaceport being built. Who's this? Who owns this? This is Homs. A spaceport being built, but they're about to lose this city here if they're not careful. Loyalty, actually. Oh, okay, it's going down, but it's not going down super fast. So I have a feeling they'll be fine. But it is kind of interesting. It'd be funny for them to lose their ability to build their spaceport or their spaceship just because they lost loyalty. So we get to see some of that loyalty mechanic in play. Other than that, they don't have a whole lot else going on. There's a lot of pillaged spaceports all over the place. The AI is really using their spies very, very heavily. I mean, look at this. Two Russian spaceports next to each other with rockets on the launch pads completely pillaged. They've even pillaged the industrial zones nearby as well. They're really going to town on Russia. I actually think Russia could have had a chance to come in that third spot had they not had all those pillagings going on. So a lot of people picking on Russia at the moment. Other than that, I think everything else looks about the same as it was. We've got a little bit of barbarian, stuff going on here affecting the green guy. Not much else going on. So let's go ahead and jump ahead another 25 turns. All right, here we are at turn 501. As you can see, Orange Korea has jumped into that third spot. Not too surprising. Going Scotland, Korea. Korea sounds about accurate. Honestly, if I was going to guess at the beginning, I would have suspected, the two Koreas would have been up there, and then one of the Scotlands would have been as well. I didn't know the order. And honestly, any given game, the order could change at any point. So it does show that those three are pretty strong on the science side of things. Other than that, it looks like Orange Russia only has 2 to go, and Yellow Arabia only has 1 to go. If we come over here to Arabia, where are you, Arabia? There you are. And it looks like they got their guy in the building, not quite on the silo yet, or on the launch pad, I should say, yet. So it's just a matter of time on that one. And then Russia over here, man, again, if they had not had these things pillaged over here, oh, that wasn't a industrial zone, that was a holy site that they had pillaged earlier. I saw the like the buildings that were circular, and I was thinking that these were the nuclear or the power plants. So that's what I saw, and I was thinking that. But either way, they did have this thing pillaged earlier, which they have rebuilt, which is good to see. But they did have 2 rockets on the launch pad ready to go when they got pillaged. So I actually think they could have taken that third spot pretty easily if that hadn't happened. But here they are. They got 2 to go. They got 1 being built there, and the other one being built up here. So it's still possible, based on their production levels, that they could sneak into that 4th spot. We will see. But rounding out the rest of this, Blue Saladin and Yellow Peter down here are both kind of figuring out who's going to take up that last spot. Oh, actually, Robert the Bruce over here, Green Scotland, is still also kind of suffering. They might actually lose his... He might lose to both these other guys. I don't know what he's doing. He's dealing with some... Oh, no, he's fixed his loyalty issues down here. He was dealing with some loyalty issues last time, so good to see that that has been fixed. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump ahead at another 25 turns and see who comes in 4th place. All right, here we are at turn 526, and as you can see, Yellow Arabia has jumped into that 4th spot. So that does tell you that Arabia does have enough science and production ability, to beat out a Scotland, so to speak. Now, obviously, map situation and what's going on around you definitely makes a difference, but Arabia can be somewhat competitive. He's only a few turns behind Orange Korea over here, so you never know what could happen on any given map. So what else we got going on? Actually, Scotland, here's the big surprise, I think, for me, is that Green Scotland has jumped up in there and finished his moon landing, as well as the Mars habitation in the last 25 turns. All the while, Arabia down here, Blue Arabia and Yellow Peter, neither one of them has gotten very far, and Orange Peter is still not finished with his. So it would be pretty incredible to see Scotland jump in there ahead of Orange Peter. Now, Orange Peter has been picked on a bit by spies, but he does have his 5th place rocket right here being built. So let's see Robert the Bruce. He needs 2. Does he have those being built? He's got 1 dead on the launch pad right here. Where else does he have anything? It's not building anything there. I'm not seeing... Okay, he's got one being built here. Now, he's not going to be able to win with just building one at a time. He really needs to get both of them going. So, oh no, there's the other one. So there's one right here and two right there. It's possible with his production bonus, if his people are happy, that he could actually beat out Peter here, who's been so far ahead of him for so long. But between being picked on and the increased production that Scotland has, this 5th place finish could be pretty interesting. So let's go ahead and jump ahead another 25 turns. All right, here we are at turn 551, and Orange Peter has taken that 5th spot. I will point out, though, that Robert the Bruce had a rocket on the launch pad that got pillaged yet again. It's possible he could have snuck into that spot ahead of Peter, but with some good espionage, man, things change in the space race victory. He does have another one over here on the launch pad, so he's going to try and take that 6th spot, which I think he has a very, very good chance of taking that 6th spot ahead of both Saladin or Peter, unless something, again, happens with espionage, but we'll have to see what goes on with that. I'm not really going to waste much time here. I think we've seen what's going to happen. We're going to go ahead and jump ahead and see if Robert the Bruce go ahead and finishes this thing out, takes that 6th spot. All right, here we are at turn 576, and not too surprising, Robert was able to take that 6th spot. One thing I have noticed, though, is, man, he has a lot of military forces. I think he has more military forces than just about anybody else, at least on this continent for sure. He spent a lot of production building up military when maybe if he had focused a little bit more on his science stuff, he could have taken that victory instead. Yeah, pretty much. Even yellow Scotland doesn't have near as much military manpower as he does. It's kind of interesting to see. Who's going to take that 7th spot? I don't know. Probably Saladin up here. Although Russia is starting to gain some ground. Let's go check out, see where Russia is as far as spaceports being built. He's got one being built there. And that is about it. He does have this one over here that's pillaged with a rocket on the launch pad. Oh, he's got one being built right here. So he's got 2 being built at the same time. Saladin would need to be building 2 as well if he's going to be able to stay ahead. He's got 1 burnt down there. He's got 1 being built there, 1 being built there. So unless something happens, it looks like Saladin will win this one. We'll go ahead and jump ahead, get that 7th place finished, and that will be the end of this experiment. All right, here we are at turn 601, effectively 100 turns past when this game actually would have ended normally. Well, more than that if you consider it would have ended after the first person got the science victory. But finally, we've got the rankings, and Saladin has taken that 7th spot with Peter. Unfortunately, just could never get off the ground. He's only got a handful of cities over here compared to everybody else. He's also dealing with some of his spaceports being pillaged as well. And he just really couldn't get things moving. So it was, the rankings officially are Robert the Bruce, followed by Korea here, and another Korea. Then Saladin, Peter, and finally the other Saladin. So there you have it. Both of the Russias were kind of towards the bottom. Not too surprising. I was really wanting to see how good their catch-up mechanics could be. Not that good, to be honest. Again, not to say that Peter could not win a space victory against these guys. As a human player against the computer, any day of the week, you could win a science victory with any one of these guys against the others. Not a problem. Really, this was just supposed to be for, a lot of fun and just kind of see some of the things that we could find out about these civilizations. I am not surprised that Korea is in the top 3. I think if we ran this 1,000 times, we're going to see Korea winning a whole bunch of them. We're going to see Scotland winning a whole bunch of them. We might see some of these other guys winning a few. But Korea, I think, is going to always be in that top 3 somewhere. So that is not too surprising to me. But overall, I think this was a lot of fun. I think I learned a lot. Hopefully you guys did too. I might do another one. There were some suggestions on the comments to do one with some of the other science kind of related guys and see where they rank, and then maybe take the top 2 of there and the top 2 here and pit them against each other. So that sounds like that might be an interesting idea. We may do that. There's also some domination experiments that I'd like to do. So, hey, let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know in the comments what kind of experiments you would like to see, or if you'd like me to keep these going. Please give me some likes, because that does tell me that you do like these, and I can keep putting these out, because I think these are interesting. I have fun with these. But again, I do appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you continue to watch more stuff on my channel. Thank you, and goodbye.